Hey guys, Farmer Jesse here. Quick vlog, crazy argument, and Alright, so what do animals bring to a farm? Well, they bring a lot to a farm. They can sequester carbon if they're managed well. They can add a lot of fertility to the farm. They can bring profitability to a farm. But really what they're doing on a base level is that they're taking something, some resource, and turning it into protein. Nuts if they're a pig, or worms if they're a pig, or about anything if they're a pig, grass if they're a cow, sheep if they're a bear. So, what do mushrooms do? They take something like a substrate, that could be wood chips, that could be straw, that could be a lot of different things, and they turn that into a form of protein. This is kind of the amazing thing about mushrooms, is that they take often a waste product and they recycle it into something else we can use. I told them this video was about global warming. I think they bought it. So if you're just looking at raw protein, in a 14-week period, mushrooms can produce double the amount of protein as a chicken. Now, I didn't make that up. I actually got that from Trad Cotter's really excellent book, Organic Mushroom Farming and Mycoremediation. You should check that out. It's an awesome book. These things turn over their substrate so fast that you can have that same amount of protein, in many cases that same amount of income, in a really short period of time. Now, it's not exactly the same kind of protein, I'll give you that. It doesn't have all the same amino acids, it's not quite as high of a concentration as like a raw slab of beef. But it is a usable amount of protein, and that's something special, something that we need in our diets. The thing about livestock is that you often need space. You don't need a ton of space for maybe like rabbits or chickens or something, but if you wanted to get into sheep or cattle or something, you need acreage. Hi, Wendell. Mushrooms are a little different. You don't need as much infrastructure and you don't need as much space for mushrooms. Mushrooms can kind of fit any scale farm, any scale farmer. They can fit in nooks and crannies, they can fit in closets, they can fit all over the place. They're kind of amazing.
It's kind of amazing, right?
I'm just watering in some turnips real quick.
One of the beautiful things is that they don't really cost a lot of money to get into.
Mushrooms are pretty cheap.
You still have to have some things, but if you wanted to do something like shiitakes, or oyster mushrooms, or lion's mane, some of the agaricus are pretty easy. Winecap stropharia, that's one I've talked about in a video that I've already done. Any of those are pretty simple. They're pretty easy to get into, and they don't really take a lot of knowledge of how, I don't know, how mushrooms work. You don't really have to know that much about them. You have to know that you need a substrate, and you need spawn, and you need to get those two things together under the right conditions to produce fruit, and it's pretty easy. So indeed, startup is affordable, but you know what else is affordable? Not having to take them to a processor. That is a beautiful thing about mushrooms, as that you're the processor, your knife is the only thing you need, and maybe like a cooler and some nice boxes or bags or whatever you're gonna package them in. But yeah, cut those things off and you're done. That's it. That's the whole processing.
You cut them. That's it. That's processing.
And then you just take them to market and sell them. And that's a pretty easy process too. You don't have to worry about USDA regulations. You don't have to do a whole lot of anything. As long as you follow the rules of the substrate and you're selling edible mushrooms and not, you know,
Psychotropic ones.
as long as you're doing those things, you're good to go. One of the other great things about this is each log or each block isn't just gonna give you one harvest. You're gonna get multiple harvests. You're not gonna get 2 harvests off of an animal, but you can get 2 harvests off of a shiitake log. You can get multiple, and I mean, shiitake log will go for 4 years if you keep it in the right conditions. A pig doesn't really do that. Now, I will give it to ruminants that they have this special sort of stomach, multiple stomachs. They actually kind of compost food as it goes through their system, which is pretty neat. Mushrooms don't really do that. They basically render everything carbon and protein, and then you get this big block of carbon that you're left with. But worms love carbon, So in a system where you have some worm bins, you can run your substrate through your worm bins, or you can just compost it, and boom, you have it, and you have compost. Mushroom substrates, like the things that you can use, a lot of them can come off your farm. Some of them you may want to get to order. If you're doing oysters, you may want to order some straw, but you can also, if you have poplar, you could use poplar. There's several different kinds of wood. If you have any access to wood, you can use compost. A lot of things grow on compost, and I know compost is expensive, but you can use the compost, grow maybe some sort of agaricus, and then that's like your button mushrooms and your portobellos and those sorts of things. Grow those on compost, then run that through your worm bins to kind of re-nutritionize it, re-nutrientize it. One of those is probably a word. And then you've got your compost back in a way, or a different form, and you've actually made a little money on it. So can't do that with animals.
Ciao.
All this to say, I'm not getting rid of our animals. We still love our sheep. We'll probably get some chickens. We've been considering doing some broilers. We're really wanting to integrate more animals. But if you're on a small scale, or if you're not really into animals, or maybe you live in an urban environment where maybe some, running a pack of bears is probably not the best idea, I think mushrooms are a great option. Just saying. Mushrooms don't run away. They don't get into your garden. They won't eat your prized azaleas. They're not going to get into your neighbor's corn. They're not going to get inside of your house. They're not going to go shopping on your credit card. We've had some pretty bad experiences with livestock. In fact, you can grow mushrooms right by your plants. You can't do that with animals. You can't put animals, you can put them pretty close if you got some good fencing. You can't put them in your garden. Mushrooms actually benefit the garden. So as a market gardener, they actually kind of symbiotic to have mushrooms going on. You want mushrooms. You want fungal life in your soil. So,
Ta-da!
mushrooms are the perfect livestock. Feel free to argue in the comments section. Also, feel free to like this video if you like this video, and make sure to subscribe. A little bobble pops up. If you click on that, you can subscribe, and you also hit that little bell. That'll help to make sure that you get our updates when we update our videos. Share it with your friends, leave a comment, leave an argument. Don't forget that I have a weekly contest going on in the last video. Just go check it out. It's a cool contest. It's super cool. It's like all the kids are doing it. It's super hip. That's good for the day. I'll see you guys later. Bye. I couldn't find Wendell. You guys get Scooter. Scoot. Doot, doot, doot.